Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka the Terrible Australian at supermarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of the new Australian romantic drama Holding the Man. So let's get right into it. Now, for those out there who don't know what Holding the Man is, it's a film that's based on a very successful and pretty well acclaimed memoir that was written by Timothy Conigrave, that he wrote just before he passed away back in the early 90s. And since the release of this book, it sort of has become like probably one of the most successful Australian books ever, and both not just here but overseas. And the book, for those who don't know what the book is about, it sort of deals with the relationship between Timothy Conigrave and his boyfriend over a period of 15 years, and sort of their relationship of their sort of the up when they first met in school in the 70s, and sort of the things that have happened in their lives, sort of like how their families have dealt with their relationship, and sort of the ups and downs, and sort of the separations, and them also reuniting. But most importantly, it kind of deals with them during the 80s when they were both diagnosed with AIDS. And this film sort of chronicles all that, and it doesn't. And I have to say, though, I think this film, which is directed by Australian filmmaker and theatre director Neil Armfield, is pretty terrific. It's definitely a film that this is definitely one of the probably the most anticipated Australian films of the year so far, and for a lot of people, because the subject matter of the story has really touched the hearts of so many people, and it's also very topical at the moment, especially in regards to how sort of gay marriage is sort of the hot topic that's going on in Australia at the moment. And I think this film has just come out at probably the exact right time as this is going on, because I think in a lot of ways this film will sort of give, showcase for some people out there about, that despite what they think, there's nothing wrong with, gay marriages or anything like that. And this film kind of shows that. In a way, even though, it's a love story between two men, but it's just really just a love story, and it's a very effective one. And I have to admit, though, I will admit that I was very moved by this film, and I did get misty-eyed towards the end. But in a way, what I really liked about this film is, this is a film that could easily have been very sentimental, but luckily, director Neil Armfield and the film's writer, Tommy Murphy, who also, besides writing this adaptation of the film, he also wrote the play adaptation of the book as well, back in the mid-noughties as well, and which was also critically acclaimed and a huge success worldwide. So he has come back to also do the film adaptation of this one. They sort of make sure that this film doesn't feel sentimental, even though it's a very sort of very sad story, but at the same time, in a lot of ways, it's also quite uplifting as well, and they do it in a way that's not sentimental at all, and it has has an honesty to it, and it's just done beautifully. Everything about this film is done extremely well. But also the performances of the cast, particularly, of course, the lead roles of Ryan Corr, who plays the role of Timothy Conigrave, and newcomer Craig Stott, and who plays his boyfriend, whose name I can't think of at the moment, so forgive me. Their performances are terrific, and you really buy their relationship, and they have great on-screen chemistry with each other. And you can tell that these roles were very important to them, because they treat these roles with respect, and also they just bring a real raw emotional honesty to them as well. And also the supporting cast, which has Anthony LaPaglia, Guy Pearce, Geoffrey Rush, Sarah Snook, Kerry Fox. They're all really good in their roles, and each one sort of brings a lot to the plate as well. And it was also just seeing sort of how how this story unfolds. In a way, it sort of could have easily been kind of episodic, but what I really like the use of them kind of doing sort of a non-linear story. So we kind of go back and forth with them sort of in the early years of their relationship, and also also it kind of crisscrosses with them like 15 years later as they're sort of both are coping with AIDS, and I think that sort of makes the film, like, it could have easily been jarring, but luckily it doesn't feel like that at all, and it makes the film sort of feel very yeah, it doesn't feel episodic because of that, because we're sort of at the pinpoints of their lives at certain moments during the course of the film. And it's beautifully directed by Neil Armfield. This is like his first film since the 2006 film Candy, which was also a love story, but about drug addicts, which, for those out there, it starred Heath Ledger and Abbie Cornish. Great film if you haven't seen that. Beautifully written. The film just looks spectacular, and great score as well. I love the use of sort of 70s and 80s music as well, and it's just a beautifully made film, and it's very moving, extremely well made. In terms of sort of criticism, though, I don't really have that many, but the only thing I would say, though, I feel like some of the supporting cast aren't really given much to do with their roles, which, like, Sarah Snook, for example, who sort of plays a friend of our two main characters, and she's a great actress, but she's not really given much to do with her role, and I wish some other cast members, like, were given a bit more to do, but that's only a very small criticism, and but overall I think it's a really terrific film, and it's one that I highly recommend everyone to check out. It's just a really effective, moving love story, and one that I definitely think that everyone should check out. It's definitely one of the year's best Australian films, for sure. So if I had to give Holding the Man a rating, I'd give it 4.5. It's that good. So, yep, that's the end of my video review of Holding the Man. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone. Bye.